Here's your tea, ma'am.
Son, let me tell you something. Tea is an herb that's been dried and has to be brought back to life by being infused in boiling. That's boiling water. So why is it in this country every time I order a cup of tea, they slap down a cup of tepid nonsense with the tea bag on the side, which I then have to go through the ridiculous process of dunking until I see the slightest change of color in the tepid piss. And frankly, son, at my time of life, I ain't got the time.
Ma'am, this is a Wendy's.
And welcome back to another episode of Crypts and Corks. I'm your host, DJ, and I know there are evidence of aliens out there, but I'm not going to tell you where it is. Along with my co-host,
Paul, and I threw the baby out with the bathwater, as usual.
That's so on brand for you.
Yeah, I feel like if I was a parent, I would actually do that.
I mean, both the literal meaning of that saying, throwing a baby out with the bathwater, but you also tend to, do that.
What do you mean, do that?
Well, do you know the meaning behind that saying, throwing the baby out with the bathwater?
Isn't it just don't keep them in the tub when you're
No.
draining the water in the tub?
No.
Oh.
It's like you jump to the worst case scenario, and it's like, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, don't go in such a tizzy that you end up making things worse.
You know what? I do that because then I freak out and I get stressed and then things start falling and things
Yeah.
and I end up with bruises I didn't know how I got. And then the stock market crashes and then a second 9/11 and blah, blah, blah.
Did you ever watch Veep?
Veep? No.
Veep on HBO?
No.
Oh. I think you'd like it because it's a very farcical comedy. But on the same time, it's very, heavily into politics. So I don't... Not so much, political theory, but,
Yeah.
the everyday happenstance of politics.
See, I don't really like political drama. It's not really my
It's not
thing.
a drama. It's a comedy. It's very, slapstick.
The only way I could probably do it if it's Park and Recreation. That's the closest to political TV shows that I'm up
You
in
might
the
have
gig
to watch
with.
one episode just to, understand what I'm saying. But, in that show, it's a lot of baby out with the bathwater, where one little thing goes wrong and then everyone starts freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
And they just make it worse. But the thing that you're saying about the stock market crash, in one of the episodes, the president has a pimple while she's giving a speech.
Mm-hmm.
And you see all of her advisors, they're watching, and it's like, holy shit, the pimple's growing, the stock market's going lower.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't think I'd like that show.
Yeah, but I could see you being like, you get a pimple and being like, holy shit, the Dow just dropped 500.
Right, honestly. Honestly, I would believe it because I can't even remember the last time I even had one. So that...
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I'm blessed with whatever skin this is. Now, I don't do no skincare, which should probably be my curse for the week, is not doing skincare and not
That
taking
is
care
a
of myself.
curse. That's a big curse, because you know what? You got good skin now. Give it 5 years.
I know.
Weathered.
I'm not going to...
Like the Irish.
I already know.
Weathered. Wind worn.
I already know I'm not going to age well, so...
Wind worn. Weathered. Gonna look like a beat up leather belt.
Not a beat up leather belt. I'm gonna look like one of Ed Gein's chairs.
You're gonna look like one of Ed King's chairs.
And then you're gonna be the lampshade.
I'm the lampshade. And then there's my brother who started getting cosmetic surgery at the age of 21, who's gonna be that bedsheet lady from Doctor Who.
He's about to look like Detox.
Oh my god!
If you get that reference, you get it.
Have you ever seen? It's on. I see it on Amazon. It hasn't had the honor of coming up on my TikTok yet. Glamora something, and it's like this AI drag queen.
Never seen her.
It's wild.
Yeah, we gotta get you away from the AI, and you gotta stop bringing it up on the pod. You're gonna get us canceled.
Did I bring it up last week too?
Yeah, you showed us a whole AI video last week, and we'll see how the children react to that.
But that was proper use of artificial intelligence. That was using it in the course of science to make things easier and better for us. Glamora, the AI drag queen, does not, and it's taking away from real drag queens.
Period. Okay, we're gonna say in the comment sections this week to defend ourselves, we're gonna say it's used for science, so fuck off.
Yes.
Yes.
What's
Now,
your blessing?
My blessing is one of my best friends is getting married, and I got to go dress shopping with her. So shout out, super happy for you, super excited. Yeah, it was just interesting to go dress shopping and stuff. Now I will say I'm not like the gay you should be taking with you to those things because I'm not good at things like that, and I'm also like a little bit colorblind, and I have a drag queen's sense of fashion, so like I'm not the best person, but it was still a lot of fun.
Did they give you champagne?
No, it was the
Did they
David's
offer?
Port. No, it wasn't that kind of dress shop.
You know, David's Bridal should just like invest in the cheapest bottles of knockoff champagne and just be offering it. I've been to the David's Bridal. I've seen some of the people who walking up in David's Bridal. You get them drunk on cheap ass champagne, you could sell them on that more expensive dress. And the tiara, and the veil, and the garter. What's your oh, you said your blessing, so it's my turn. My blessing and curse. For the first time in a long time, you and I just got to like have a chill one-on-one hangout where we drank and just talked and watched stupid shit on YouTube, and that was very nice.
Yes, we visited Robot Chicken and Mad TV on the YouTube.
Okay, Mad TV, far funnier than I remembered it. Robot Chicken did not age well.
No, Robot Chicken did not age well, unfortunately, but what can you do?
No, it didn't. But that's also my curse because we were both asleep by like 10:30.
Hey, but now we're up bright and early recording for you guys, ready to get y'all up in the gig.
Yes, it is not even 10 o'clock and we're gonna have breakfast wine.
Ooh, okay. Are we ready to get into it now?
Yes.
Let's get into it.
We've got a lovely bottle of Casillero del Diablo Reserva Red Blend. It is a Chilean wine from 2022. It is from Concha y Toro, Decade, 1883. What does Decade mean?
Circa, like
Oh,
from.
nice. This red blend's velvety smooth texture carries focused flavors of ripe black fruit, plum, and black cherry, up front, followed by dark chocolate notes in the mid-palate. A charming finish is balanced by mild tannins and marked with hints of toast and spice.
I do. Oh, wait. Are you done? No? Okay.
It pairs well with white meats, red meats, pork, and cheeses.
Ooh, okay. Now, I do want to note that I do have a 160-day Duolingo streak with Spanish, so I am training for my future Latinx husband. So if you're out there, I'm learning.
Good. What does Casillero del Diablo mean?
Casillero del Diablo, House of the Devil.
Oh, cool.
Or it's some form of the word house. Something of the devil, House of the Devil, I think is what it translates to. You're welcome. I'm basically
Is there a
fluent.
cork in here? No. Everyone's favorite toy.
Oh.
And reverse it.
Oh. Oh.
I think it was funnier with the cork just sadly falling into my lap. And you saying the oh.
Oh my god.
First ASMR pour.
Oh.
Second ASM pour. You're safe. Everything's gonna be alright. You might be a little stressed right now, but just imagine your stress is wine, and we're gonna pour it out of the bottle into the glass. Just feel that stress pouring out of you.
Oh.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh.
It smells nice. It smells fruity.
Yes.
Give it a whiff.
Nice
Ready?
and fruity. Yeah, let's get into it.
Cheers.
Okay. She's neither here nor there. Very average, middle of the road wine.
Yeah. It's
very average.
it's good. Not great.
2.5, 3 grapes, right there in the middle.
I'm gonna give it 4 after the dishwater wine fiasco of last week.
Yeah, last week's wine was good. So maybe next week I'll have to bring it because next week is my topic. As you guys know, if you've been following the pattern, it's my topic. So maybe next week I'll get the girls up in the gig and get a really nice wine. It seems like we're moving up the scale.
Perhaps.
And I don't know if you guys could hear the birds outside, but it is the morning time, as we said before, so the birds are outside singing.
Yes, they are.
Maybe that'll add to the ambiance. Who knows? Probably not.
Probably not. Wrong ambiance for this episode.
Ooh. Tell me why, DJ.
My Zoom's not working, so I'm gonna have to wear my reader.
What do you mean? Okay, if you could see his screen right now, his notes are the most zoom out. It's gonna be like he's reading fucking fine print.
Oh, wait, hang on. There's a different Zoom. Okay, hang on. Let me try this. Oh, there we go. I've never used that Zoom before. I've never used that Zoom before.
Not you not knowing how to work Google Docs.
Okay, normally when I come in to do this, I zoom in the entire screen.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot that there was just zoom on the document.
Oh my god.
Oh, there we go.
Period.
Now I have it as big as it can go because I'm blind as fuck. All right, Paul. Let me tell you a story.
Let's get into it.
These birds are going to ruin this intro, and I worked so hard on this intro. New England. Winter. The ground is frozen solid. In a small Rhode Island cemetery in March of 1892, a group of men gathers with shovels and lanterns. Their breath fogs the cold night air. They are not grave robbers. They are fathers, brothers, neighbors. And they are about to dig up a young woman they buried just weeks before. Because in this quiet farming community, something is feeding on the living. One by one, members of the same family have wasted away. Pale, weak, coughing blood. Doctors have no cure. Ministers have no answers. But the townspeople have a theory. They believe the dead are not staying dead. When they finally pry open the coffin of Mercy Brown, what they find only confirms their worst fears. Her body is strangely preserved. There is blood in her heart. To modern ears, it sounds impossible, maybe even absurd. But to the late 19th century New Englanders, this was proof of something terrifying. A vampire was in their midst. Tonight, on Crypts and Corks, we're digging into one of the strangest and most unsettling chapters in American history. America's vampire plague. Pour yourself a glass, and let's open the grave.
Ooh, okay. I've actually never heard of this.
Yeah.
No. You said this is... Did you already say it's in New England yet?
Yes, it's in New England.
Okay. And I will say, probably the worst part about being a vampire in New England is probably all the blood tasting like clam chowder.
No, okay. That could either go one of two ways. if it's like a Count Dracula vampire from Europe, he probably hates it.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's a New England vampire, it's probably a New Englander, and it's like, I want to suck your blood. Oh, great, it tastes just like chowder. Oh, shit, I forgot. I parked my car at Harvard Yard. I gotta go get it before sunrise.
Oh my god.
Holy shit, is that Donnie Wahlberg? Donnie!
That was a good accent.
Thank you.
Damn, one day I'll learn how to do an accent.
Just one. Just
one.
You should be practicing every day in secret. Mm-hmm. And then one day just whip it out of nowhere.
I'm gonna have to pick an accent.
Pick one, stick with it. Don't tell anyone.
Yes.
And just whip it out and watch the chaos ensue.
But I'll have to pick an accent that doesn't get us canceled, because I can't be walking up here with like a Jamaican accent or something. That would get us like plucked off the internet.
Okay, we all know I love Princess Diana. Mm-hmm. And this is so off topic, except for accents. But there's this little pasty-ass white twink who does this series on TikTok, and it's if Princess Diana had a Jamaican accent. And I'm just like, I don't think this is allowed.
Yeah, probably not.
I don't think you can be a white twink pretending to be a white dead princess having a very not white accent.
Did you read the comments at all? What were the girls saying in the comments?
I didn't read the comments.
Girl, you have to go to the comments. That's the first place I go to get the temperature check. Come on, DJ.
But here, we live in a very strange world. Some of the things that I think are going to get canceled don't, and some of the things that shouldn't be canceled do.
Right. Like, I've been seeing a couple people be using the R word on the TikTok, and I'm like, girl, are you sure? That's, like, extreme cancel. But then everyone in the comments like, LOL. And I'm like, what the hell?
LOL, we are all thinking it.
Yeah, it's like, it's crazy. The internet is such a crazy thing. I love the internet, don't get me wrong, but it's such a wild thing. And as we are like at that point now where people are commenting on our reels and stuff, like I'm starting to realize the types of comments we're going to get. And it's a lot of annoying fact checkers.
Because they want to start, because that's like a big part of the internet. Mm-hmm. Like, it started a lot on Facebook and it's starting to grow onto other platforms where it's like people who are just alone in their finished basements on their family computers, even though they're empty nesters.
Yeah.
And they're just looking for a fight to have some form of human engagement.
It's very that. They're just looking for attention.
Exactly. Sorry, I like chipped my nail.
It's fine.
And I can like feel it. Okay.
We should probably start talking about vampires.
Yeah.
The vampire.
Yeah, exactly. So, starting in the mid-1700s, the early American colonists and eventually the early American citizens, because halfway through the century we declared independence.
Much
what?
Much to DJ's dismay. We all know your loyalty to the crown.
That honestly should have been my curses that night when we walked a mile and a half in the cold, and to get me through I had to sing the British national anthem on repeat.
Yeah, that was an interesting choice. Yeah, that was an interesting choice for sure, but pop off, sis.
Some people needed to get through a marathon jog. Some people need to do it to get it up.
Yeah, and one day you're gonna find a guy that thinks that shit's hilarious or cute or something, and that's gonna be your soulmate.
Exactly. So, yeah, the early colonists came into the grip of a strange disease that was hugely fatal.
Do you think it was like tuberculosis?
Maybe.
Maybe like syphilis or something.
Maybe. The New England states were hit the hardest, with 1 in 4 dying of killing a quarter of all New Englanders in the span of like 1730 and 1900.
You know what's crazy to think about? We really did settle in, like, the coldest part of America when we first came over. Like, girl, just go fucking south. Why don't we start out in the south where it's at least a little fucking warmer? Jesus.
They started in Virginia.
That's not far enough south, though. It still gets cold as shit in Virginia.
The Spanish were in the south.
Did they know if they were there?
Yeah.
Were they afraid of the Spanish?
This was around the time when the Spanish Armada was about to invade England, so yeah.
I'm talking about, like, Christopher Columbus when they first settled and stuff. They just, like...
Christopher Columbus went to Cuba.
Okay, I'm talking about when we first settled the goddamn...
Are you
when
talking
the
about the
Pilgrims
English?
came over, yes.
Okay, so so before the Pilgrims, it was the Jamestown colony in Virginia.
That is the Pilgrims.
No, the Pilgrims were at Plymouth Rock in Massachusetts.
It's still super fucking far north. That's the whole point I'm getting at. It's so goddamn north. Why not go south?
Because the Pilgrims got lost and they were just happy to see land.
Girl, that's so unfortunate.
White people and directions. We learned this with Christopher Columbus. But they just don't listen to the GPS.
Yeah.
That motherfucking TomTom was telling them, turn left at the equator. And Chris is just like, I'm gonna turn right.
Yeah. But the GPS would have had a British accent.
I'm not gonna do a Spanish accent.
British.
I was making fun of Christopher Columbus. Because he only found Cuba because he got lost looking for India.
He was pretty far off there, yeah. Pretty far off.
Now, the disease caused the sufferer to waste away as if the disease was consuming the victim from within. So they called this disease consumption.
Consumption. Now, do you have that disease?
I wish.
Are you sure?
No.
Seems like you're consuming a lot.
You bitch.
How did you not see that one coming, bitch?
I don't know. Because I just said that it wastes the victim away. And that's why I said, I wish. And then you said, are you sure? And I said, no, because I didn't want to get canceled. And then you hit me with that. I hate you. So some of the symptoms. Pale skin, like Paul. Weight loss, unlike Paul. Sunken eyes, like Paul. Coughing blood, also like Paul. Slow wasting over months or years. It's been very slow.
Not quick enough for you.
Not quick enough for you. Just die, bitch. Die. Whole families would be wiped out as the disease passed from one person to the next. So it's not like whole families falling ill all at once. It's your dad would get sick, then your mom, then your older brother, then your younger brother, then your cousin Jeb.
Okay, I got you.
No one could understand it and soon suspected supernatural forces. People thought certain deceased individuals were causing this wasting illness, returning spiritually from the grave, and draining life from the surviving family members.
Okay. See, I could see how they could think that, because if they do not get sick at once, like, it's kind of like a train of, like, energy sucking.
Yes.
A sucking train. Holy, okay, I'm going to write that down for later.
Trains?
I'm going to write that down for later. We got the goat train on the mind, but sucking train
I know.
sounds a
Last
lot
week
more
was
fun.
the goat train. Today it's the sucking train. If you can find a train in next week's episode, I'll give you $1. I'll give you a whole $1.
Well, I already know the train in next week's episode, so...
So they had many nicknames for the suspected culprits of, like, leading this illness. Consumptives. Basic. Lame.
I like consumptive. That's fun.
But, I mean, it's called consumption, and it says, like, the consumptive is coming to suck your life force.
Ooh.
The undead. We're getting there.
Period.
And last, but certainly not least, vampires.
Vampire.
Now, vampires are a subject that we are well acquainted with on this podcast.
Yeah, just go back to our sexy vampires episode. I think it was like 50-something.
There is another vampire episode before that, Dracula.
Dracula's
Castle. That wasn't actually haunted, and I didn't realize till I did all the research.
Mm-hmm.
That was a dark time.
Oh, well.
Now, while today we think of vampires as being nocturnal, blood-sucking, undead beings that are suave and romantic, sometimes they glisten in the sunlight. And they're repelled by garlic, silver, and religious iconography.
Mm-hmm.
That is not what the traditional vampire was like at all. The traditional vampire was an undead spirit who had to feed off the life force of the living. They might not even have a physical body. Rather, they would use the corpse as a retreat to protect themselves when they're resting.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
We talked about that a lot on why vampires are sexy, like the evolution.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is the middle of the Age of Enlightenment. You've got Voltaire writing about whatever Voltaire wrote about, and you have the Declaration of Independence. You have Ben Franklin inventing electricity.
This is Hamilton years.
This is Hamilton years.
Prime Hamilton years, for sure.
And these bitches are throwing away every one of their shots, truly.
And I'm sorry to our audio listeners for DJ clapping in the fucking microphone.
I can clap when I want. Now, despite its being the Age of Enlightenment and we're so smart, and no one's going to be smarter than us, isn't that right, Tommy boy?
Right, Papa. Please don't stuff me back up the chimney. I'm
was
seeing ghosts.
I was saying Tommy boy like Thomas Jefferson.
Oh, I thought you were like a father, and then I was the son, and then you like
No,
put
I
me
was
up
being,
the chimney.
I was being Ben Franklin. Well, I think Ben Franklin would stick Thomas Jefferson up a chimney and have his way with him. Ben Franklin was a freaky motherfucker.
Oh,
Did you not know that?
girl, I don't know. You already know.
Okay.
There's a lot of things about history I don't know.
I'm gonna have to cover that.
I'm learning a lot more though. I'm getting a lot more educated.
Yes, yes. He's finally started spelling February with the R in it. He's also started spelling scissors with the C in it. Unfortunately, he keeps pronouncing it when speaking as skizzers.
Yeah, that was hilarious, DJ.
Back to the story.
Ew, I
You didn't have to announce it. Do you really think anyone noticed? Oh, this is a train wreck. Forget about goat trains. Forget about what's the other kind of train you talked about.
The sucking train,
Sucking
DJ.
trains. The troop. There's two types of trains on this episode. Crazy trains and trains derailing.
Yeah, and that's okay. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Contemporary medical thought actually supported the idea of a vampire.
Vampire.
George Ernst Stahl, a leading doctor and medical researcher from Germany, and a proponent of vitalism, had the idea that living and non-living I misread that. He's a proponent of vitalism, which is the idea that living and non-living things were separated by the presence of forces such as the soul, which gave life. Mm-hmm. So the fact that you have a soul is what makes you alive. But if your soul transferred to this picture frame, the picture frame would be alive and you would be not alive.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah.
Now, Stahl theorized that a person did not die unless the soul left the body.
I mean, okay. Yeah. Makes sense.
Soon, this was seen as evidence of the folkloric vampire. If the soul couldn't leave the body, then it would just roam and feed on the living to sustain itself.
That's so interesting. And that's like also giving like zombie a little bit
Yes.
undead, like rising to feed on the living.
Yes, so a lot of early vampiric folklore is very much more like we think of a modern day zombie.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until about 1900 that it started to shift. The idea of a vampire and the idea of zombie didn't start to switch until the 1960s. Stahl's theories, along with the old world belief in vampires, were soon brought to America with German military physicians who aided in the fighting of the Revolutionary War. And soon the people of New England, hearing of this, decided that they were being cursed by a vampiric plague.
Right. I mean, it's that classic thing. People are getting sick, they don't know why, and they need to attribute it to something.
Yes. In 1765, the Connecticut Current, which was a newspaper, ran a front page article on vampires stating, "Such a notion will probably be looked upon as fabulous, but it is related and maintained by authors of great authority." I don't know what the Connecticut sounded like in 1765. I just picked an accent at random.
Yeah, yeah. It would be interesting to know, like, how their native accents turned into what they're talking like today.
Yeah.
Probably all the clam chowder and shit. Maybe the mercury poisoning from all those lead lobster rolls, you know?
Maybe.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's probably what happened to Tom Brady.
You know, if I was Tom Brady's son, I'd kiss him on the mouth too.
Okay. I'd kiss Tom Brady on the mouth. Not if I was his son, though.
I know, that's the joke. That's the whole point of the joke.
Oh my god. Honestly, I feel
When
like...
I said it at that Super Bowl party, everyone was living.
Yeah, no. And honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing his deflated balls either.
Do you think his balls are deflated?
No, probably not. But it was just a joke.
Do you remember that episode of Family Guy where Tom Brady was staying with them and Meg and Lois were trying to spy on him in the shower?
I don't remember that, and I should remember that because I've seen pretty much every episode of Family Guy, so I should have remembered. Yeah, I'm like vibing more with American Dad these days, but what can you do?
Roger.
Yes, Roger. Yeah, they're both pretty funny shows.
I just
though.
watched for Roger half the time.
Right. And the most interesting thing about those shows is like, if you watch it just for what it is, it seems conservative, but then you realize, oh, they're making fun of conservatism and stuff,
Yeah.
and it's really like post-conservative humor, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Like, it's like liberal humor disguised as conservative.
Yeah, and it would be concerning to like see a MAGA head like watching being like, yeah, I agree with all that.
Right, because, like, yeah, exactly.
Soon, the farmers and villagers of the area were using their new theory to take action into their own hands to try and end the plague. In Jewett City, Connecticut, the Ray family was afflicted by consumption, this mysterious disease. First, 24-year-old son Lemuel was the first to die in 1845. 4 years later, patriarch Henry B. died of the same disease, and he was quickly followed by his 26-year-old son Elisha. In 1854, eldest son Henry Jr. became afflicted, and the family and town began to panic at the thought of the undead demon afflicting them. A mob of villagers went to the cemetery and exhumed Lemuel and Elisha and burnt their corpses, suspecting them of being the vampires. And to modern-day researchers, there is no immediate news of Henry Jr.'s death, so it seems that he might have survived after this.
Now, this was the middle of winter, right? Or no?
No.
No, okay.
This is just 1854.
Okay, cool.
And all of this was, like, widely reported in the newspapers. Like, they were doing, like, series on this.
I mean, it's the most interesting thing happening right now. The vampires are here in America.
In nearby Griswold, Connecticut, something similar occurred but was not discovered for over a century and a half. In 1990, kids were playing in an overgrown field when they discovered 29 graves. Police were called and suspected at first that it was the work of a local serial killer called Michael Ross, but they soon found that the old brown bones were actually an old farmstead family burial ground forgotten to history. Most of them were buried with good old Yankee thrift in simple, cheap wooden coffins.
So, wait, they found this graveyard.
Yes.
They thought it was a serial killer. And then they found out it wasn't.
Right.
Okay, cool.
Because forensics.
Okay, cool. So
CSI.
it was buried on purpose by like some sort of village or something.
So back then, a lot of farmers would just bury their relatives in a burial plot on their land.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a family cemetery on their property, and then they moved or they sold it off, and this plot of land just like got forgotten.
Okay.
Kind of like you, after every single first date, you just get forgotten by the guy you just bought dinner.
Yeah, I'd laugh, but that's pretty accurate. That's kind of how things have been going lately.
So, despite most of them being buried in identical situations, one of them was entombed in a makeshift stone crypt. Pulling the stones away, researchers discovered a smashed, red painted coffin with only the initials in brass JB and brass tacks nailed into the lid as evidence of who the 50-year-old man was who rested here. His body, also unlike the rest, had been desecrated. His ribs had been broken outwards. His thigh bones had been broken off, and he had been decapitated. Inside his chest cavity, his thigh bones were crossed with the head just above it in a skull and crossbones formation, like the Jolly Roger.
That's pretty metal.
An added insult was the skull was turned to the west, away from the rising sun in the east and the glory of Christ's second coming, as they would have believed in.
Okay, I didn't know they believed in things like that.
Yeah, so a lot of Christians are buried facing east, so that when Christ comes and he resurrects all the dead, they rise and face him. So, this is a big fuck you.
That would be spooky as shit to see. Christ comes back and all of a sudden these horses just... Now that's spooky. That's a horror movie.
Maybe I'll have to do it.
Jesus Christ. Literally.
Maybe I'll have to do an episode on the second coming.
Oh my gosh. Not the second coming, but I usually prefer the third coming.
Oop.
You're welcome.
Oop, oop. Researchers were beguiled. They were able to deduce JB had died and been buried around 1830. They also were able to deduce that he had been exhumed and desecrated about 5 years after he had been buried. His bones showed signs of long suffering with consumption. Researchers concluded that this was a case of another vampire who his neighbors destroyed. Now, 36 years after it was discovered, JB's grave remains one of the only pieces of physical evidence left of the vampire plague. In the Union Cemetery Annex in North Smithfield, Rhode Island, there's another piece of evidence of vampires in early America. The grave of Simon Whipple Aldrich concludes with the haunting line, "Vampire's grasp had seized thy mortal frame."
Oh, okay. So they thought he died from vampirism.
Yeah.
And actually put it on his tombstone.
Yeah.
That's actually really interesting. And the last name Eldridge, like the Eldridge horrors? Aldrich.
Sorry.
Never mind.
Aldrich.
Aldridge. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's fine,
It's early.
I only got a little bit excited, but fine.
While these two pieces of physical evidence are intriguing, it should be noted that there could be hundreds more that were lost to time like JB's was, or simply never documented. Like I said before, the family burial grounds, people doing them without the newspapers watching.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the evidence we have of the plague just comes from these newspaper retellings. Most times, these exhumations were private affairs, lit only by torches, with a few people watching. In 1784, in Wellington, Connecticut, a man named Isaac Johnson was convinced by a quack doctor, quote, to exhume the bodies of 2 of his deceased children to rid the rest of his family of the vampire grasp. He did so as witnessed by Moses Holmes, who wrote of it in the Connecticut Courant, and Doctors Minor Grant and Jeremiah West, all 3 of whom later served in their state's government, and Dr. West even participated in the state's ratification of the United States Constitution.
See, that's the interesting thing about the government back in the day, because the government was believing in spooky shit. They were believing in witches and vampires and all sorts of things.
Now,
I think that's pretty cool.
I
mean, it wasn't, because a lot of people got murdered, but...
No, they weren't murdered. These were already dead people.
Well, I was big into witch trials, too, because they
yeah.
believed in all sorts of, spooky spiritual shit.
Yeah. The vampires were to Connecticut, Vermont, and Rhode Island. Mm-hmm. What witches were to Massachusetts.
Right. Honestly, love science, but If I wasn't in the threat of getting murdered, it kind of would be cool to live in the day and age where, like, witches were real and the government was concerned about the vampires. And, like, it just seems
A little
like
bit.
such a magical, like, thing. Even, like, when you think about, like, the Greeks and Romans, how they believed in these magnificent gods who controlled the lightning and the weather and all that cool shit. Yeah.
You can still believe in that. You just choose not to. But some of these exhumations were town-wide affairs. In 1830, in Woodstock, Vermont, one vampire heart was burned on the town green in front of a crowd. In 1793, hundreds flocked to Manchester, Vermont, to witness one of the hearts burnt at a blacksmith's forge. And early town history says, quote, Timothy Meade officiated at the altar in the sacrifice of the demon vampire who was believed was still sucking the blood of the then living wife of Captain Burton. It was the month of February and good slaying.
Good slay queen!
Yes.
Keep slaying, girlfriend!
But that's the thing. It's like, it was almost festival, like kind of like hangings, like, Goody Paul, are you going to bring a picnic basket to the vampire heart burning?
Ooh. Are you coming to the slaying, girlfriend?
Wasn't slaying like sledding, but like pulled by the horse.
Wait.
Not like sleigh
Oh,
sleigh.
I was taking it as like sleigh,
one
like
horse
kill.
sleigh.
Yeah.
No, one horse sleigh.
Okay, so their sleighs were mobile in February. I completely misinterpreted that because I
Yes.
thought they were like slaying the potential vampires too.
No, it was like good sleighing, like for recreation. They were going like one horse sleigh, like ding 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 ding.
Fucking boring. Actually, riding in a sleigh probably wouldn't be that boring. Depends who you're riding with and what's going on.
Okay. Great.
I'm pretty sure you can like drunkenly drive a sleigh. Do
I-
you think
I-
you'd get pulled over?
Can
for
you
that?
get a DUI if it's a sleigh? Can you get a DUI if it's a horse-drawn carriage?
Let us know down below.
Can you get a DUI if it's a goat-pulled cart?
Exactly. Am I getting a DUI on my goat train? Lock in, fact check, and comment down below, people. Okay, I'm gonna need you horse to just stop listening and not commenting. I need you to comment, rate, 5 stars, okay? Give us 5 stars, okay? And for every 5-star rating, I will... what am I gonna do? For every 5-star...
He will add another layer of clothing to rid us from the horrors of his naked body.
I look like a naked mole rat, okay?
The horrors
I look
of
like-
his nudity
I look like...
up in here
I look
in my good Christian Puritan New England home.
Girl, I look like I belong in Ron Stoppable's pocket, okay? It's giving naked mole rat. I'm gonna be in the live action Kim Possible. Just you wait. Y'all are laughing now, but give me some nair in 2 hours. I'm the naked mole rat. No comment? No concerns?
No.
You'd probably be more like the Sphinx cat. The hairless cat.
Anyways. And while all of this evidence is beguiling, that's a big word. That's an SAT word right there.
It is.
It doesn't even compare to the story of America's last vampire.
Lindsay Lohan.
No.
Sorry.
I thought you were going to say Amanda Bynes for a second. You ruined it. George Brown was a subsistence farmer in Exeter, Rhode Island, who owned a modest farm of 30 or 40 acres. Modest. Well, Exeter is now a bedroom community of Providence. In the latter half of the 1800s, it was a far-flung farming community on the extreme west side of the small state. It was often called deserted Exeter, or was derided as one of the border towns, with barely fertile, rocky soil, with farmers using the stones to make these walls, and whatever their boulders they couldn't move, just leaving in the fields because they were too big. The town was never large, was almost a ghost town at this point, after the loss of many of its sons in the Civil War, and those who survived moved to the wide open, fertile fields of the West, much like Paul's last boyfriend.
He moved to more fertile fields.
Mm-hmm. Unlike your rocky pasture.
You promised you wouldn't talk about my hemorrhoids on the podcast.
I'm sorry. It's not like every top in the tri-state area didn't already know about your ladybugs.
What do you mean by ladybugs? What does that even mean? That sounds kind of cute.
There was a joke about Senator Lindsey Graham, one of Trump's main allies, who it is widely rumored that he's the closest to homosexual. And there's a rumor going around during the first Trump presidency that he hired some male escort to provide certain services to him. And when the escort examined the rear of the ship, as you will, he found all of these pimples and warts, to which Lindsey Graham responded, "Don't worry about them, darling. Those are just my ladybugs."
I hate that. That's disgusting, and I could have went my entire life without knowing that.
If I have to know it, you have to know it.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
Girl.
Oh. In December 1882, George's wife, Mary Elizabeth, was the first to die of consumption. She is quickly followed by their eldest daughter, Mary Olive, a dressmaker, whose tortured end was widely reported in the local newspaper. George fervently prayed him and his remaining children, Edwin and Mercy Lena, would be spared, and his prayer seemed to be answered for 9 glorious years. And then, in 1891, Edwin, grown into a big, strapping young man, unlike Paul, fell ill, and his father sent him to Colorado, where patients were being cured of the disease. Maybe at a place like the Stanley Hotel.
Oh, okay. Period. We did talk about that in the Stanley Hotel, where they would use that as a place for sick people to go get fresh air because they thought that healed people.
Yeah. And it actually kind of seemed to work for a lot of people.
Okay, makes sense.
However, shortly after he left, Mercy fell ill, and rather than a long lingering and suffering like most people, she withered away and died quickly.
Withering Heights, if you will.
It was actually called galloping consumption.
Galloping consumption. Okay. Sounds like you're eating a horse.
A little bit. Modern researchers think that she had it for years, but she was asymptomatic. And it just hit her all at once.
Makes sense.
After she died, Eddie returned from Colorado, seemingly cured, but soon fell gravely ill again. One newspaper wrote, "If the good wishes and prayers of his many friends could be realized, friend Eddie would speedily be restored to perfect health."
Wait, so if they did what?
If the good wishes and prayers of his many friends could be realized.
Oh, okay. So it's basically asking for thoughts and prayers.
Yes.
Okay. I got you.
But the Browns' neighbors were not content with thoughts and prayers.
Oh, no. They're gonna murder his ass.
They feared that this demon illness would kill off all of the Browns and then come for them. While the doctor spoke of a physical disease, the neighbors spoke of a diabolical force stalking the family from member to member.
Ooh, how devious!
They begged George to consent to having his wife and daughters exhumed to find the vampire, and as Eddie grew worse, he grudgingly agreed.
Okay.
On the morning of March 17th, 1892, a group of neighbors accompanied by the family's doctor, Harold Metcalf, dug up the 3 graves. First, they opened Mary Elizabeth's and found little more than bones. Okay. She had been dead for nearly 10 years now.
Yeah, makes sense.
Next, they opened the grave of Mary Olive and found mostly bones. She had also been dead for nearly 10 years.
Mood.
Finally, they opened Mercy's and found that after 3 months, she was totally and completely intact.
Oh yeah, no shit. Like 3 months in the cold ass ground. It's basically a fucking freezer.
Can you stop stepping on my toes?
Oh,
Just give me a second.
excuse me. I'm sorry. You said it in the intro.
Her skin was supple and pliant, like mine because I do skincare, unlike Paul. Her body retained a full and lifelike fullness, much like Paul after eating too many McChickens.
Or you, after retaining all that water in most things that you consume. Maybe that's the real consumption.
Are you quite finished?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if you would have come for me, just get ready for me to come on back.
Okay. Dr. Metcalf argued that she had only been dead 3 months and that the cold New England weather had preserved her, but the neighbors insisted that they check her heart.
Ooh. They said, let us see the titties. Open her nightgown. Open it. Open it. You ever motorboat a dead woman? It feels like you're motorboating an ice sculpture.
God. Oh, God. Okay.
Anyway.
Reluctantly, Dr. Metcalf opened Mercy's chest and took out her heart, which was full of blood.
Ooh.
Upon
Oh! How dare you!
Upon further examination, her lungs and liver were also full of blood.
Blood in the body? Who would have fucking thought?
They took the ashes to George and mixed it into a tonic, which they administered to Edwin, assuring the Browns the vampire was gone and Edwin would soon be safe.
Not him drinking his... Was it his sister?
His dead sister.
Not him drinking his dead sister. Jesus Christ.
Wait, are you ready for the best part?
Yeah.
Edwin died 2 months later.
So not only did he have to drink his dead sister, he still died. That's awful. Oh my god.
Oh. News of the exhumation soon spread throughout the country and the world.
Is that still incest, do you think? Do you think drinking your dead sister's ashes is incest?
Eating her ass is incest. Drinking her ashes is some form of cannibalism. And I don't know if eating a family member is better or worse than regular cannibalism. I don't think there's a delineation.
Bro, I don't even think Armin Mibus would do that shit. Because at least Armin Mibus, cooked it and shit.
Of course he wouldn't eat his mother's ass. He was into dudes.
No, ashes!
I know.
Ashes!
I know.
Oh my god.
Well, no, he was interested in the meat. He didn't want the ashes.
Yeah, the ashes, that's just crazy, bitch. That's wild. That's one of the wilder things I've heard.
Okay. So news is spreading, blah, blah, blah. George was derided as a fool and a barbarian. One newspaper said, "We seem to have been transported back to the darkest age of unreasoning ignorance and blind superstition, instead of living in the 19th century in a state calling itself enlightened and Christian."
And where was this guy during the witch trials, okay?
The newspaper guy or George?
Whoever was saying that,
The newspaper guy?
he sounds like he has some sense.
He wasn't even a twinkle in his parents' eye yet. Another London newspaper stated that the Yankee vampire was an entirely American creation, had no basis in English folklore, and it's not our fault. They chose to be independent.
I mean, it's kind of tea. I mean, if you kind of think about it, we did go crazy for a little bit there.
For a little bit?
Yeah, I guess not a little bit. I think, yeah, we've been crazy for a long time. Americans have been wilding out.
One 1896 article was even found in the papers of English stage manager and later novelist Bram Stoker.
Ooh.
It is believed by many that the story of Mercy Brown inspired the character of Lucy Westenra and her strange vampiric illness in his masterpiece, Dracula,
Oh, okay. That's actually really
the
interesting.
basis of the modern vampire.
Mm-hmm.
Which means George's decision to try and save his family from the vampire made Mercy immortal through her link with vampiric lore.
Wait, can you say that one more time for me?
George's decision to try and save his family from the vampire made Mercy immortal through her link to vampiric folklore.
Oh, in like a poetic way.
Yes.
Okay. I got you.
For those of you who are just listening, I did something weird with my arms over my face. It wasn't meant to look cool, it was meant to look stupid.
That's interesting. So, do you think the news of what they did traveled to wherever Bram Stoker was, and that inspired that?
He was actually, so before he was a novelist, he was a stage manager in like the theater.
Mm-hmm.
And when the Mercy Brown case happened, he was touring in America. So he saw this in the newspaper and he cut it out and he saved it in his papers. And if you read Dracula or if you see a lot of the movies, Lucy is Mina the main bitch's friend.
Mm-hmm.
And her whole plot line is that she suddenly gets sick from this strange disease which just withers and wastes her away. And she dies, and then she comes back as a vampire because she was, like, attacked by Count Dracula the entire time.
Okay. But you're kind of like a modern day Bram Stoker. You went from theater nerd to novelist, just like Bram Stoker did.
Stoker?
I prefer Stroker.
I don't think anyone... Have you ever seen a picture of him? No one was stroking that.
Stroker, I barely know her.
So, Mercy Brown was America's last vampire. Very quickly after that, they stopped assuming it was that. So, what was behind America's vampire plague? Well, consumption was the contemporary name for the bacterial disease we now call tuberculosis.
Oh, they had the Burke. Ooh. Not to be confused with Alexandria Burke, of course.
TB, as it's often shortened, is spread from a person with it through particles coughed or spit up in the course of their illness, which can be then inhaled by those around them, explaining how it seemingly targets one person to another.
Shut up, bird!
He's talking to the birds outside, not me. It begins in the lungs, slowly destroying them and causing the sufferer to cough up mucus mixed with blood before passing through the rest of the organs, making the person to appear to be consumed from within and to waste away.
Okay.
TB and the bacteria that caused it was actually discovered 10 years before Mercy Brown was dug up in 1882, but people just didn't believe it.
Oh. Imagine that. People not believing science. Who would have thought?
But in 1921, a vaccine which protects against the disease was developed, and George Brown lived long enough to see it invented before dying.
I would have been so pissed if I had to watch all my family die. Then right before I die, they've got a cure.
Bro! All my neighbors said my daughter was a vampire. It was fucking TB, and now there's a vaccine. I could have my wife. I could have my 3 kids. I could have had 3 more kids.
Yep. He's just a victim of the time period he was born in. Muy unfortunado. And that's why I'm grateful to be born in the time period I was born in.
Yes. But, Paul, what about the signs of life that those who dug up the bodies were looking for in the cases of vampires? Well, it was actually just the normal course of decomposition that was being misunderstood.
Yeah.
Such as bloated bodies looking like they had just gorged themselves on something is actually because gas causes swelling.
Yep, gas is built up in the body. Yeah.
as you would know.
Okay, that was good.
But what about all the liquid blood in the organs? This is just normal because blood doesn't just like harden up. And it's not fresh. Like, I want to know, were these people just not cutting themselves that they couldn't tell fresh blood from dead blood? Receded gums, which made the teeth appear longer, which creates the classic vampire illusion.
Okay.
That's just the gums shriveling up.
Right, right.
And hair and nails growing. Once again, the skin shrinks, makes what's already there appear longer.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah. Why did this vampire plague affect New England most of all, do you think, Paul?
Probably because it was dark as shit and depressing as shit and cold as shit.
I'm going to tell you why. It was very rural. It was made up of tight-knit little farming families who would nurse each other, and so it would pass through all of them. These harsh winters, the cold, like Paul's last relationship, preserve the bodies. Too bad your cold last relationship couldn't preserve your relationship.
You're really reaching. You'll get there, though.
I tried. They also just had naturally high TB rates, probably because like everyone was taking care of one another.
Yeah, they didn't have that much sanitation. Just like, again, victims of their own time period and their own technological advances that they did not have.
Their strong folk traditions. I mean, the New Englanders, they are a people rich with folklore.
Mm.
Washington Irving.
What do you mean?
Sleepy Hollow, Headless Horseman.
Did he write that book?
Yeah.
That's fine. Okay.
And they had limited medical access. I mean, they were entrusting doctors who had the intelligence level and medicinal skill of Paul.
Yeah. No,
They probably had doctors who weren't actual doctors. Their first name was just Doctor.
Yeah, we probably didn't even have any colleges or universities established at that point, which means no Fraternity X yet, unfortunately. Muy unfortunato.
Yeah. And when we get down to it, this isn't a story about vampires. It's a story about grief and fear. How the early New Englanders were looking for patterns. And when they saw the multiple deaths in one household, they attributed it to some supernatural power. How they lacked medical knowledge and they sought higher meaning. Desperation, trying to save one another by doing anything that would save them.
Yeah. And I think it's easy to look back at them and be like, oh, they're so stupid for thinking things like that and
No, they
stuff.
weren't stupid. Like you said, they were just victims of their own time period.
Yeah, I mean, people still do things like that today. You know, people try and make sense of the crazy world around them, whether it be with science or with your beliefs or whatever. People have always just been trying to make sense of the world around them.
Yeah.
And I don't know, there's something kind of fun about like trying to make sense of the world around you in regards to like using magic and like things like that to describe things.
And see, while you might be happy to be born in the era you're in, there's something to be said that back then there was this terrible disease and they believed in vampires. And nowadays, a man who brags about snorting cocaine off a toilet seat tells you not to get vaccines and people are listening to him. I'm looking at you, Bobby Kennedy Jr.
Is there any other political figure you would like to attack today on our paranormal podcast?
Let's see. Pam Bondi, Caroline Levitt, Pete Kegsbreath, Donald Trump.
Is Kegsbreath his actual last name?
No, it's Hegseth.
I was about to say Kegsbreath is crazy. That would be a crazy last name. Like, you have to be a frat bro if your last name is Kegsbreath.
No, I just made that up because I hear he has a little drinking problem.
Well, we know a lot of our most prominent political figures do. But we have no room to talk.
Brett the Keg Kavanaugh.
Brett the Keg Kavanaugh. Very that. Yeah, no, it's a cute story and everything. Vampires and all. And honestly, It would be interesting to live in a time where, like, vampires are real and the witches are out to get you and things. Like, yeah, I'd probably be burned at the stake or something like that. But, hey, magic. Probably wouldn't have to pay taxes or file my taxes or whatever other bullshit I have to deal with today.
I have just two more.
Okay.
Clarence KKK Thomas and his wife, Ginny Hegsale.
Hegsale?
What is it? Sigheil. Ginny Sigheil Thomas.
Period.
Anyways, please let us know what you think. Down below,
there's no further thoughts on vampires? Nothing else about the story?
I think I talked enough about vampires.
All right, well, take it away then.
Please let us know what you think down below. You can comment, like, subscribe, DM us on any of our social media down below. If you have personal stories, please email us at our email down below. Paul, where can they find you?
You can find me at my personal Instagram and TikTok at Paulember, Paulember. And as usual, it's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
And if you'd like to follow me, you can do so on TikTok and Instagram at The Real Teach Powers. And don't forget to join us every Sunday night at around 7 o'clock on TikTok Live, where we'll be covering last week's episode in Twinks and Drinks. So if you want to hear us talk more about vampires, tune in next Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on at Crypts and Corks on the TikTok. Until next time, folks, keep your crypts tight.
And your corks loose. Bye.
I said tea. If I wanted a cup of lukewarm piss, I would have gone into the bathroom.